Hello students. So once again we are back with Vistas class 12th and the chapter is on the face of it. In the first video we have read that a boy of 14, he seems to be very pessimistic, he seems to be very lonely, and he claims that he does not want to be with anybody. And he even tells that he had come to this garden because he thought there is no one. If he had known this, that a person is already there, he might not have come over there. And now we see that there is a conversation going on between Mr. Lamb and Derry. We had read up to page number 58, where Derry himself tells that his face got burnt. And he says it's not that only one side of my face is burnt. Actually, this way, it has taken my whole life. Because he feels that his whole life is spoiled. But Lamb does not think so. Page number 59, first line, first dialogue by Lamb. Lamb says no. Because Derry was saying that it has taken my whole life. It's not that it has eaten my one side of my face. Rather, it has spoiled my whole life. But Derry says no. The Lamb says no. Derry, aren't you interested? Now Derry says, aren't you interested to know about my face and the story behind this one? Lamb, you are a boy who came into the garden. Plenty too. Now he says, no, I'm really not interested to know your story. Because here in my garden, so many people come. I'm interested in anybody. And that way I'm interested in anybody and everybody. It's not that I'm interested in you because I'm interested in the story behind your face. He says, no. I'm otherwise that way I'm interested in anybody and everybody. There's nothing God made that doesn't interest me. And then he said, as a matter of fact, I'm interested in each and everything that God has created. Look over there, over beside the far wall. What can you see? Now you sit just far away from here. You just look at that wall. And what do you see over there? Derry, rubbish. Mr. Lamb, rubbish? Look, why look? What do you see? He says, no, look at it again. Would you say this is rubbish? Derry, just grass and stuff, weeds. And then once again he looks at it and he said, okay, if this is not rubbish, then this is just grass and nothing else. Only weeds. I think you all know weeds because weed word is taken into consideration in one of the poems also. Okay. Weeds means unwanted plants. And in our second poem, Elementary School, there are also children are compared to weeds, means they are unwanted. So here he says, yes, there are weeds only, unwanted plants. Mr. Lamb, some call them weeds, if you like. Then a weed garden. There's fruit and there are flowers and trees and herbs, all sorts. But over there weeds. Now Mr. Lamb says this is up to you. You can call them weeds and you can take this weeds as just a name only. Like there are many kinds of fruits, many kinds of flowers. They all are having names, herbs, shrubs, and that way even weeds. Over there, weeds. I grow weeds there. Why is one green growing plant called a weed and another flower? Where's the difference? It's all life, growing, same as you and me. Now here Mr. Lamb is trying to say that why weeds are unwanted. When we have so many kinds of plants, so I take weeds as one of the plants. And this weed is also having its own kind of beauty. There are many flowers which are very big in size, many flowers which are very small in size, and they all are different. They all have their individuality. And he says, in the same way, for me, even weed is also a kind of plant. Okay. And it has its own beauty. Because for me, each and every plant is having a life. They all grow. Weeds also grow. Then how can we discard something? Okay, by saying that this is not a flower, though it is having life, though it grows like other flowers, but still we say this is weeds only. He says, for me, there is no difference. These all are having life, they all grow, and the same way, you and me are also not different because we both have life, we both grow. So for him, he's trying to say, for me, there is nobody who is not in whom I'm not interested, because God has created and God has given life in each and everyone. That's why I'm interested in everybody, whether he or she is having burnt face or very beautiful face. No, he's trying to tell this only. Same as you and me. Daddy, we are not the same. But Daddy is a small boy. He's not having still that depth maybe. That's why he says, no, we are not same. Mr. Lamb, I am old, you are young. He says, okay, yes, you may say. That way, we are not same because I am an old man, you are a young boy. You have got a burnt face, I have got a thin leg. But then he says, still we are same. Why? Because we both are having handicap. You have got burnt face and I have got thin leg. Means your body is, if not whole body, even I don't have my whole body because I have one artificial leg. But not important. But he says, still, I don't think that this is that important. You are standing there, I am sitting here. There's the difference. He says, if you have got burnt face, then you can stand on both legs. I have got full face, but I have got one artificial leg. I can't stand like you. So it means we are same. Maybe little bit deformity is there in you, and then the same way deformity in me. So that way we are same. Daddy, why have you got a thin leg? Now suddenly when he hears that this is thin leg, artificial leg, he asked, why have you got a thin leg? Mr. Lamb, real one got blown off years back. Lemmy lamb, some kids say. He said my leg blew off and that's why I got one leg only. Then I got artificial leg and now I'm a lame person, and that's why sometimes kids in my area when I go out, they call me Lemmy Lamb. Haven't you heard them? You will. He said, you haven't heard children talking about me because they have given me the name Lammy Lamb. Okay, you haven't heard. But if you come to this site, maybe one day you will hear that also. Lammy Lamb. It fits, doesn't trouble me. But then he says, I am not troubled because I am a lame person. That's why this name fits me. And that's why I am not bothered. But you can put on trousers and cover it up and no one sees. They don't have to notice and stare. But still, the boy is trying to say that your condition and my condition is not same. Why? Because you, if you want, you can cover your leg. Means if you don't want to show your deformity, the plus point with your deformity is that you can cover your deformity. No one will get to know that you have got artificial leg. But for me, it is not possible. I cannot cover my face. So people will certainly look at my burnt face, ugly face. Mr. Lamb, some do, some don't. Mr. Lamb says, don't worry. It's not that everybody notices. Okay. Some people notice deformities. Some people even don't bother. They don't notice deformities. They get tired of it in the end. Because he says, actually, one point comes when people are tired of looking at the deformity. Now, actually, he was trying to tell that if people look at your face, it's not that they always will be looking at your face and talking about your face. No, after some time, they will get tired of it. They will hardly notice your face. Okay, they will not talk about your face. So this is what he is trying to say. There's a plenty of other things to stare at. He says naturally after some time they will get tired of looking at one particular thing, because there in the world there are so many things to look at, to stare at. Like my face? But Derry is still very negative. He says, yes, you're right. There are so many things to look at, like my face. Why should they look at your leg only? Naturally, there are other things also. They will look at my face. Mr. Lamb, like crab apples or the weeds, or a spider climbing up a silken ladder, or my tall sunflowers. Now, Mr. Lamb, he corrects it. He's trying to say, no, it's not that they will always be looking at your face. There are so many beautiful things that nature has gifted us. So people would be looking at those things. Derry thinks. Now he says, you feel that people will look at the things only, not the face? Mr. Lamb, it's all relative, Beauty and the Beast. Now Mr. Lamb is trying to say this is all relative. If there is beauty, there is ugliness. If there is ugliness, there will be beauty also. So one should not bother about these things. Derry, what's that supposed to mean? Now Derry says, why you are talking about beauty and beast? Okay, what it has to take with my face? You tell me. Now he says, okay, you tell me. What do you understand by this beauty and beast? Derry, you need not think they haven't all told me that fairy story before. He says, don't tell me. I know this fairy tale. So many people have already told me about this. That this is story of Beauty and Beast. He says, I already know this story. And I know the moral also. I know what you are trying to tell me. It's not what you look like, it's what you are inside. Now, next line is important. Handsome is as handsome does. He says, I know that this moral of the story is that facial beauty is not counted. More important is inner beauty. Handsome is inside. And you are trying to tell me that if I am good from my heart, people will take me. No, he says no. This is possible only in the stories. That people do not look at the ugly side. No, here people in real life, people will look at my face. Beauty loved the monstrous beast for himself. For himself means for his beauties only. He says, I know the story is that the princess, he loved the monster looking, ugly looking boy because of his good qualities. I know this story. And when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. And he says, I know the story. Because the story says that this was told to that ugly looking man, that if somebody loves you, okay, and this love is real love, if somebody loves you from heart and shows that love, then you will be turned into handsome boy. And this princess, she loved him from her heart, and that's why she kissed him. And then the next instant, this ugly monster looking man was turned into a handsome prince. But then he says, only he wouldn't. He would have stayed a monster beast. I won't change. He says, these things happen in the stories only. Okay, this is not going to happen in real life. He says, naturally, he would have, if he had not got the kiss, he would have remained a monster. But in the story, even the ugly looking man can get a kiss from a very beautiful princess. But he says, I won't change. This thing never happens this is not going to happen to any human being in real life. Mr. Lamb, in that way, no, you won't. Mr. Lamb says, okay. Do you think that way only things happen? The way it happened in story? Yes, that way maybe you will not be changed into handsome prince if you get a kiss. Daddy, and no one will kiss me. And then Daddy says, yes, if you talk about kiss, I know with my ugly face, no one is going to show me love. No one will kiss me, ever. Only my mother, and she kisses me on the other side of my face. So this is the pain in his heart. He says, only my mother can kiss me with this ugly face. And that too, she kisses me on the other side of my face. She does not kiss me on the burnt side. When she is to show love, she also maintains that she should kiss on the other side of my face only. She does it because she has to. And moreover, then he says, I know why my mother shows love. Because she feels this is her duty to show love towards me. Otherwise, there is no real love actually. She does it out of duty only. Why should I like that? I don't care if nobody ever kisses me. So here he shows that he doesn't like this mother's attitude also. He says, I don't care. If nobody kisses me, I don't care. I know my mother kisses me, but that also as if she's doing her duty. Mr. Lamb, but do you care if you never kiss them? He says, okay, you are talking about other people showing love towards you, kissing you. But have you ever tried that you also show love towards somebody? You also kiss them? Daddy, what? Girls, pretty girls, long hair and large eyes, people you love. He says, have you ever shown love towards other people? Towards pretty girls or other people? Those who show love towards you? Who would let me? Not one. He says, what are you talking about? No girl would ever allow me to show love because I am ugly looking boy. Mr. Lamb, who can tell? Mr. Lamb says, how can you be so sure that they won't allow you to show love? If you try, maybe people would allow you to show love. Derry, I won't ever look different. When I am as old as you, I will look the same. I will still only have half a face. But Derry says, no, I know it very well. Nobody would ever allow me to show love because I am going to have this face only till my death. Even in my old age, I will be ugly looking person. So naturally, I am going to have my half face. So nobody is going to allow me to show love. So you will. Now Lamb says, okay, this is truth, that you will remain with this face only, but the world won't. But he says the world is not going to remain the same. Today, if they don't show love or something, whatever you want from them, if they are not showing that attitude for you, it's not that they will ever be showing the same attitude. No, world would change. The word has got a whole face and the words there to be looked at. He says word is not having half face, that it is going to remain the same. There's a whole word and there are so many things. Why you are looking at those people who have no love for you? There are other things, other people. Okay, because the word is so big. Do you think this is the word, the old garden? Then he says, okay, you're talking about this word, this old garden. Do you think this is the word? Mr. Lamb, when I am here, not the only one, but the word, as much as anywhere. He says, when I am here, then this is the word. Otherwise, the world is so big. Wherever I go, I think that is the word. Means this word is not confined to this small garden only. Lamb, tin doesn't hurt, boy. Okay, actually, Derry, does your leg hurt you? Now, Derry doesn't know what to say. When Lamb is trying to say this word is so big, why you are expecting, a handful of people only to show love? There is big word. Okay, maybe other people would be one day showing respect and love towards you. Now Derry has nothing to say. Suddenly he now changes the subject matter. He says, does your leg hurt you? Lamb, tin doesn't hurt, boy. He says, no, this is still like artificial. There is no pain in artificial limb. Derry, when it came off, did it? He says, no. When you lost your leg, at that time, you might have felt that pain. Certainly, he says, yes. Naturally, at that time, it was painful. Derry, and now, I mean, where the tin stops at the top. And now he says, now at present, naturally, you have got artificial leg. So wherever your skin and your artificial tin, it touches each other, do you think you feel the pain at that time, at that point? Mr. Lamb, now and then, in wet weather, it doesn't signify. He said, yes, once in a while I get that pain, especially in wet season. In rainy season, okay, sometimes I feel the pain, but he says, it doesn't matter. Means I don't bother about this pain. Derry, oh, that's something else, they all say. Look at all those people who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and don't feel sorry for themselves. Now Daddy says, I know. This is what people even try to teach me. That look at those people who are having so many pains, even then they are not bothered. Okay. He says, maybe this is what you are now trying to say, that you don't feel pain. Because you are trying to tell me that I should also forget about my face. He says, naturally, you will be saying that people are brave. Why can't I be that brave? Why can't I, leave behind this pain of having burnt face? I haven't said it, Lamb says, but I didn't say anything. I was talking about myself only. Daddy, and think of all those people worse off than you. Think you might have been blinded or born deaf or have to live in a wheelchair or be daft in your head and dribble. He says, I know. People sometimes tell me that think about those people who are in bad condition or in worse condition than you. Suppose if you were blind, suppose if you were deaf, suppose if you are in a wheelchair, suppose if something happens in your brain and you are, not in your senses. He says, I know. People tell me to compare myself to all those people and then to think that I am much, much better than all those people. Mr. Lamb, and that's all true. And you know it. Mr. Lamb says, yes, this is true also. That you are much, much better than all those people. And good thing is that you also know about it. Daddy, it won't make my face change. But Daddy says, though I know this thing that I am maybe better than many people, even then, my pain is my pain. It is not going to change. My face is not going to change. Do you know, one day a woman went by me in the street. I was at a bus stop and she was with another woman and she looked at me and she said, whispered, only I heard her. She said, look at that. That's a terrible thing. That's a face only a mother could love. He says, though I know all these things, even then, the thing is, I feel the pain when people look at me and they talk about my face. And they feel that nobody can love this face, nobody can love this person, only a mother can love. He says, that pain only I know. So he says, that's why it is not a different thing, or I'm not going to have a different life. I'm not going to get happiness if I think that there are so many people who are blind, so many people in the wheelchair. He says, no, my life is going to remain the same, and I know only one thing, that is that my face is half one face and I look ugly. I think we should stop here only. And with this second video, I hope there is better understanding of this chapter. But revise it seriously, thoroughly, then only you will get the true meaning of this chapter. Thank you.